two iconic female R&B groups, SWV and Escape. And they are, number one, involved in a reality TV show. There's like all sorts of drama around who should headline and who's this, that, and the third. And so I want to talk about like profit over positivity.
It's what sells. Why? In a lot of spaces, that's people's reality.
I feel like we just need to stop lying to ourselves. Stop saying we want this positive stuff. What up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, want to welcome you to another edition of your new favorite podcast, the Charles Coleman Podcast. To my right, you know her, you love her. She's showing who she is because she's the leader of the Blue Notes. We got the professional winner, the boss at 593 Washington. Gloria Cherubin is in the building.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Hey.
What's going on, man?
Is this custom? This like denim?
Nah. I'm keeping it local. I'm not gonna blow up the spot, but I'm giving it for the ladies. They can afford it.
This is given.
It's affordable. It's not custom.
Nah, this is given.
I
Like
appreciate
the shades of blue was like. I like how you're coming into the spring palette.
Yeah, we bringing it.
I appreciate
the weather's
that.
transitioning, so we ready for it.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. And to my left, you know him, Mr. Six Shooter, letting off rounds, understated but never underrated. Smooth as cashmere. Curt Quillen is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. How you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling awesome.
I'm glad that both of y'all are here because I had a thought that's been on my mind. There's some spaces that are like too New York. We already have a bad rap. There was this thing on the internet that said like, we be in parties slow dancing to One Mic by Nas. like, this is a true story. I'll give you an example of something that's too New York. Like, first one is I was at a gender reveal and the DJ was playing D-Block. The Locks.
Right.
That's too New York. Come on, G.
And they're having a girl.
Right, come on. That's way too New York. Fam, true story. Mm-hmm. G and I, this was a couple summers ago, we were at the baby shower of somebody who you know. Her peoples got up on the microphone, talked about how they all got guns.
It was pure violence, bro.
At the shower?
At
the shower on the mic.
So what's up?
Straight up, like, if it get crazy.
Sometimes you just got to put that out there.
At the baby shower?
Yeah, I mean, when you start seeing tensions start brewing amongst tables, you gotta let everybody know, like, listen, you think it can get crazy, it can really get crazy in here. Like
at the baby shower?
The level of violence was crazy, though. The thing about it was that it was nothing in the space that kind of like projected that need for that kind of
Clearly it was.
I mean, everybody else was so peaceful and just like real family. Mm-hmm. But you gotta clarify and say that the baby mama fan was from the Bronx.
People from the Bronx be extra New York, like it's extra OD.
Violence.
I mean, because everybody else want to act like we not. So, from time to time, you just got to put that reminder out there. Like,
at the baby shower, it was like, yo, just know if it go left, we all got that thing on us.
And it's going to get crazy in here. Proceed.
That's too New York.
Open the gifts.
That's too New York.
That's too New York.
And you better like it.
Period.
Click. Wow. It gives us a bad name.
When you say us, you mean everybody else outside of the Bronx, because people from the Bronx ain't leaving.
That's correct.
Okay, got it.
That's correct. Don't nobody love the Bronx like people from the Bronx. This is what it is. All right, that's gonna bring us to our show because this is our news and views, our conversations on things that you may have heard about, maybe not. In the media, but have a relevance to culture and community here on the Charles Coleman Podcast. You guys know what it is. We're going to play our usual game of One Gotta Go, all right? This is actually a footwear edition.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is One Gotta Go. I give you 4 things, and then out of the 4 things that I give you, one of them's gotta go. First up, Jordan 1s, the original OG high top Jordan 1s, all right? We got shell toe Adidas. We got 5411s. For those people who don't know what 5411s out there are, 5411s are the old school Reeboks that the girls wore with the high tops and the double strap. Had them in every color. The reason we call them 5411s is because in New York, the price was $49.99, but once you added on the tax, it became $54.11. So that's a little education for you if you didn't know it, all right?
8 1/4.
There you go. And the final one, this is like super New York edition, Butter Timbs.
Okay, so 5411's gotta go.
They gotta go? Did you ever have a pair?
Of course I have, man. Come on.
Gee.
I had them, but they ran their era.
Gee.
They was a classic when they were a classic, but they expired and they're not coming back. I'm sorry.
They might.
I mean, even if they do, they didn't
I'm
really.
proud of that answer from G.
Really?
Yes, because that was the first time she didn't take the high road of the woman approach.
Ah.
So I'm very proud of you, G.
See?
Thank you.
I'm always gonna surprise you, man.
Yeah, I'm very
Okay.
proud of
Don't
that.
put me in no
She
box.
don't want to be in a box
Yeah.
today.
Nah.
We're going to give her a round of applause.
Give her a
for
round
that.
of applause.
Round of applause for G on that. Yeah. Growth is good here on the Charles Coleman
That's
podcast.
it.
Growth is good.
That's it.
I hate y'all.
All right, Curt, which one's got to go for you?
Oh, man, Shelto's out of here.
Shell toes?
Get him out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Why the shell toes?
I'm from uptown, so replace the shell toes with Air Force Ones. Jordan's ones gotta go. But being that you didn't, shell toes out of here.
What about black Air Force Ones? You keep
Nah,
those?
son, that's violence only.
The only purpose for black Air Force Ones is violence.
Pure
Violence.
unadulterated violence.
Mello was
That's
like, "Yo, I'm bringing back Air Force Ones." I was like, "Are you still in the league?"
Yeah,
Right.
Nah,
that's what got
okay.
him out of there. See, should have chilled out.
I'm like, chill out, Mello. Like, yo, that wasn't really the way.
But I ain't gonna hold you. The new Tiffany joints with the check.
Nah, I'm not feeling that.
Nah, with the silver in the back.
Nah. There's another colorway that's way better. But I almost felt like when they put the colorway for the Tiffany Air Force Ones in black, I almost feel like it was like a dare. Like, I know you're gonna want these because they're exclusive, but they're gonna be ugly. So what you gonna do? Because they black Air Force Ones with an aqua check, a Tiffany blue check.
We're gonna go get them.
Right. Exactly. They was like,
Which is exactly
these
what
black
happened.
Air Force Ones ain't selling, so we gonna make them the Tiffany edition and
That's the
watch them go get
rebranding
them.
power.
Right.
Now it's different.
It's not creepy.
For me, Butter Tims are just too New York. 5411s, I'm gonna let the shorties have them. Jordan 1s, there's no way that anything is going with Jordan 1s. That's not happening. So I gotta get rid of Shell Toe Adidas as well. They gotta go. Being a Queens dude, I let it rock, but I never liked the profile. I'm much more of a Rod Laver or Stan Smith dude when it comes to the old school.
So you just don't
Adidas.
like your feet because none of those got cushion.
Nah, they it's like walking
horrible.
on cardboard
Yeah,
shoes. Like
they were
it's
horrible.
wild, no cushion. That's summertime barbecue. I need something white.
Yeah.
White. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Your boat ride situations. That's all it is. But
that's why I feel like Adidas needed to stay, because it does have a justification for a rotation continually to this day. With 5411s, it was just like, it was rainbow, it was a lot of colors.
Yeah.
It wore itself out. You know what I'm saying? And
how many pairs did you have?
Wow, I don't even remember.
you was going hard.
You had to have like repeats of the fresh black, the fresh white, because you
Black.
can't, it was a different experience. You
It was
needed
a
that
different
black.
experience.
You needed that black.
That
man.
black was different.
The black was different.
Yeah, if you had all black, you hung out in the hallway. Trust me.
Absolutely.
You spent some time in the stairwell.
We
with
was
black
in the
socks
stairway.
on.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is
we
that-
played spades, during class.
That's when you start. Did you start cheating then?
Sorry?
All right, we're gonna move on. So our next shortcut, we as black people talk a lot about spaces that are not welcoming to us, spaces that are discriminatory, that we don't belong in, and being treated in a particular way. Gloria, you have children, and if your children went somewhere with someone who was a friend or they were involved with and they were treated in a particular way because of the fact that they are who they are, meaning that they are black children, I'm imagining you would immediately have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
Right. But at the same time, I find it very peculiar that when it's reversed, we don't have a problem like being very clear about objecting to interracial dating. What's the reconciliation there? On one hand, you're saying like, I could do this to y'all, but don't do this to me.
It's kind of like the battle of preference versus right. If you tell me your preference, can I argue that you have the right to have a preference? No. I just have to hear your preference and operate in your space when I'm with you with your preference. Period.
So are you okay with the label, for example, of being a bigot if you're like, no interracial dating in my house among my kids? If your kids go to somewhere else and they're ostracized by another person's family, you're gonna call them a bigot. You're gonna call them a racist. Are you okay with that same label being applied to you in reverse?
If I'm doing the same actions, absolutely.
Okay, so you're like, yeah, that's what it is. I'm good with it.
That's what it is.
Interesting. G?
I'm not that person that says, don't bring that white girl in my house or don't bring that white boy in my house. Like, that's not me. My kids aren't, they're very open And I think that when it comes to relationship, like, you know what I'm saying, you got to give them room to love who they love. Now, if whoever they're in a relationship with, if their family is mistreating them, I'm absolutely going to bat with a bat. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, that's still a very delicate situation because, you know, when you talk about your kid falling in love with somebody, that love for that person could be greater than any obstacle that they might encounter together. You know what I'm saying? As long as they have each other and they're in it together versus, you know what I'm saying, that other person not really supporting my child in that space. I don't turn my nose up to interracial relationships because I know what love is. You know what I'm saying? I know that, you know, the entire universe bows in the presence of love. When you fall in love, you don't really care about what other people think. But that's if that's love. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you just like, you know, this is my persuasion for a particular reason, I'll just go this way because of whatever little insecurities that might be existing in you, that's another conversation.
But there are people who I've seen it, who on one hand are like, you know, racism, prejudice, systemic inequity, we need to push for an equal society. But then at the same time be like, do not bring that in my house, right? Right? Like, so your perspective, Curt, of like, yeah, it ain't gotta make sense. It just is what it is. I get that. And I think that's how a lot of people feel, but it's just always been something very interesting to me where on one hand, you're sort of fighting this notion of inequality, but then on the other hand, you have like a real like problem with it in your backyard. Right. When it affects you like.
Well, that's hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you're on both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, where are you really standing? You know what I mean?
In the middle.
In the middle.
What is the middle?
Whatever you want it to be. It's the world we live in. And you better respect it.
Well, listen, let us know what you think. Leave it in the comments. Which one would you have gotten rid of if you had the choice where one got to go? And or let us know what you think about this conversation. Not necessarily interracial dating, but is there a space where that can coexist with feelings of fighting racism, fighting inequity? Like, how does that sort of reconcile in your world? We check these things. We respond to these things on the Charles Coleman podcast. That's going to bring us to our contributor segment. And of course, we've got the lovely Gloria Sharubin, which means that it's branded by G.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about, so the statement is really simple.
Okay.
I can get a new husband, but the kids belong to me. Or I can get a new wife and the kids belong to me. When there's a breakup,
right?
You know what I'm saying? The kids belong to me. You know what I'm saying? I can get a new spouse,
right?
But the kids belong to me.
Oh, nah, I thought you were just saying like as a woman, the kids just automatically mine.
No. I'm not. All right.
Well,
I mean, but
that was going to go off the rails.
I think
that was going off the rails immediately.
There are spaces in which there are a lot of women that do believe the kids belong to me, right? But I think that that's a mantra that men need to adopt more than women, because very often we hear narratives where, you know, the relationship with the children isn't very strong between the father and the child because the kid stayed with the mother, right? But I think that if we take a more proactive role of the kids belong to me and I can get a new spouse, it's going to insert in you a greater responsibility and more motivation to really invest your space and time with the child.
Have you seen in your experience that couples get divorced and somehow they also, somebody, whether it's a father or a mother, divorces themselves from the kids, kind of?
I do. Really? I feel like there are a lot of instances where, depending on where the kid, who has full custody of the kid, you know what I'm saying? That kid spends and has more access to that parent, obviously because they live together, but the other parent doesn't necessarily maintain the mantra that the kids belong to me too. Mm-hmm. Even though you're not in the household anymore, you know, like a lot of times, and I don't keep it a buck, it's a lot of issues with men, you know what I'm saying, where the men don't necessarily realize that the relationship to the child is that you're dealing with a child. Right? Yeah. So the responsibility to build on the relationship shouldn't be the child's responsibility, but really needs to be the father's responsibility. And if he doesn't have the attitude that the kids belong to me, so that he makes that investment of time, he makes that investment of effort to really be in that child's life, you know what I'm saying? You can't fault the woman who's naturally just there because the kid lives with them. Right. You know what I'm saying? And you're just absent. You know what I'm saying? Because you've moved on in a relationship and you've rebuilt a life, whether you have new kids now, You know what I'm saying? Whether you have a whole new marriage situation that you're in, those original kids or those kids with that woman or however many wives you end up having over the course of your life belong to you.
I agree with you, Glo. But also in that...
Wait, you agree with me?
Just a part of what you said.
Okay.
Not all of it. Chill out. So
Chill out.
I had to live in that space with those words.
Enjoy it. But here where it goes crazy. As the husband, the father, right? In that, you are dealing with the child and the child's mind, right? But the child is now in custody with the mother. So to me, it would have to be a tandem effort in making sure that I stay positive in that child's life. Like you said, because you are the custodial parent and the child is with you. Now, in that effort, though, what does that look like? That's 100% communication with the thing that didn't work out.
Right.
So if you and I can now work out to continue to raise our kid, then what happened to you and I in the first place to where we had to split?
Well, I think that's a different conversation.
It is, but I'm just saying as far as what it would take to make a situation work.
You have to be able to compartmentalize your relationship with the child from your relationship to your former partner.
Correct, I agree.
Right, like as a product of a family of parents that divorced, everything that you guys are talking about comes full circle for me, because for my father, it was particularly challenging to get beyond some of the struggles he was having with my mom in terms of just like child support and arrears and court and visitation and this and the third, to the point where like you love your kids, but you just don't want to be bothered with the situation. And so for a lot of people, they don't know how to navigate that. The compartmentalization goes both ways. You might be bitter with this person for whatever happened or how it worked out. They ain't got nothing to do with these kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when you talk about the communication and making it as seamless as possible for each of those people to have ownership,
and
access and involvement with those kids, that's like the thing.
And then there's another caveat that you have to keep in mind is that the kids don't remain kids. And that's why I'm saying the kids belong to you. Because as they grow and become adults, young adults, they still belong to you, and it's still incumbent on you to build a relationship with them. You don't just get to walk away because now they're bigger. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because once I'm no longer in the picture, because the thing about the dichotomy of that emotional drama with dealing with that person is that when they're smaller, you're actually dealing with another adult to coordinate the kid. What happened when the kid gets beyond that need for me to coordinate, and now he's a teenager or she's a teenager or a young adult, and seemingly is independent, but they still live with me, and you're not necessarily feeling obligated to find room and time in your life to spend time with that child because you just don't live with the kid anymore, and it's not like a small child.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying the attitude that the kids belong to you is so important. It's more than just when they're small. And a lot of times, because you're not making the investment when they're small, when they grow older, they grow apart, and because you didn't exist, oh, I don't really need them, the relationship becomes more strained. So if we take that attitude that the kids belong to me, then, it's going to carry through as the child becomes a young adult and into an adulthood, because they always need their father. They always need their mother.
Right. They always need their parents.
They always need their parents.
You like, kids need parents. And
adults need parents.
Adults, I need my parents.
Absolutely.
Education, entertainment right here on the Charles Coleman Podcast. That has been branded by G, our contributor segment, which is going to take us right into our main conversation right here. Today is an interesting one. There are two iconic female R&B groups, SWV and Escape. And they are, number one, involved in a reality TV show. Number two, involved in like a reunion tour or what have you. And there's like all sorts of drama around who should headline and who's this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. This is perhaps one of the worst examples or displays of Black womanhood in terms of what we should be seeing or showing. And a lot of people are like, yo, this is just the industry. That's just them getting their bag. This is what it is. It's okay, so on and so forth. So I want to talk about like profit over positivity. We say we want a certain type of energy. We say we want a certain type of entertainment, but that don't really be what we looking for. We want the drama. We want the conflict. We want to see that, right? When something goes wrong, everybody wants the NAACP to do something about it,
right?
But nobody's a member.
Or donate.
You said reality TV. it's not scripted. It is. And we know that it's scripted to make for drama. But at the end of the day, it's been consistent in that whenever you see anything centered around reality TV, it's centered around drama and just a lot of soap opera, extra, and just a lot of shenanigans. You put a bunch of women in a space and you hope for a fight. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to get a fight.
You're going to get a fight.
Right, you know what I'm saying? It's not
That's real.
sexy. I'm not really into it, but it's what sells. Why? Because, you know, in a lot of spaces, you know, that's people's reality.
Say it, G. Say it. We don't respect you. Say it. Say it. It's a man's world. Say it. All of these things. Say it. You know you want to say it.
Shut up. I said what I wanted to say.
There you go. It's great. You know?
You think it's
Yeah,
great?
let them kill each other. I want to see somebody die. Let's
Not
do it.
die.
Let's turn it all the way up.
Oh my God.
Why not? Let's go.
You always
This is
gotta
what y'all
drag
want,
it.
right?
Are you not entertained?
Exactly. So again, we sick of the glass being thrown from across the table. We sick of the flipping of the table.
Yeah, shake
we
the table.
Yeah, we sick of all of that. Like, oh, you slept with this person robbed this person didn't get paid. We heard all that already. Kill somebody now. Show me how mad you really are.
Oh my God.
How many members
I
is in this
can't.
group? One less now. Live, and then we go to TV, go to commercial.
I can't.
That's it. And then all y'all get together in your first show, be singing at the funeral. Super dope. Let's get it going.
Wow.
You just produced
That's
the
it.
whole
Produced
season.
the-
That's
yeah,
the
you
season
did
right
the
there.
season.
Tyler Perry, holla at me. We can make a movie about it. Everything.
I'm
We'll sell
screaming.
T-shirts. It's over.
Not
We
the
all the way up.
merchandise.
We up. The SWV massacre. What?
So I get it. Everything that you watch don't gotta be uplifting. Like if you wanted to watch Bobby Jones gospel 12 hours a day,
Is that still a thing?
No.
it's not,
No,
but
okay.
you
All
get the
right,
point,
I get
right?
the point.
I just always feel differently when it's us. When someone sees, you know, the Real Housewives of Orange County or the Real Housewives of New York City, for example, and then someone walks into a job interview, they don't make that connection.
No.
That never, you know, there's no thought that this person might be similar to what I was watching last night. But the reverse cannot be said when it comes to how people view us and the way that we are seen. I feel like there's only but so much space that we have in the public purview in terms of representation as is.
Right.
And so
And that's what the issue is. The real issue is
Yeah.
that there's just that we have a very limited scope of representation, and when it's predominantly negative, then the assumption is that we're all negative, right? That's the major issue. But at the end of the day, we all know that negativity sells. You know what I'm saying? And these people are in the business of selling some form of entertainment.
I feel like we just need to stop lying to ourselves. Stop saying we want this positive stuff. Stop saying we want something uplifting.
I mean, I just feel like I don't know if it's that.
Like, I know it sounds bold.
It sounds like me. Go
I
ahead,
know.
brother. Like this shit.
Easy, brother.
Tell
I
me.
think it's less about what we want and more about what we need. I think that we need to exist in a space of balance. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can consume all this negativity all you want. You will ultimately become dysfunctional, and you will crave and need something that's going to pull you out of that rut to exist. You can't just like socialize yourself in this way where you just constantly consume all this negativity and don't think it's going to have an effect on you. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, to each his own. You got to figure it out for yourself on how you need to manifest and exist in this world. But go ahead and feed yourself all this poisonous content and think that your girl walk in the door and she a little late. That shit that you saw earlier ain't gonna play back in your mind. Where you was at?
Right.
Why you always coming in here 2 minutes? It don't take 8 minutes to get from the train station to here. You coming in 10 minutes later. It might be some residual shit you saw before that's just playing out, oh girl. And she like, damn, you know, I stopped downstairs to finish playing my game before I got in the elevator.
I don't know no Keanu.
So the notion of balance, I think, is an important one. I talked to a lot of people about it. That's like shout out to Hillary Younger, another Dream Team member. She's like a really big balance person because she's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I don't turn the other cheek. I swing the other fist. That's her. Her thing in terms of what balance is, right?
It's your individual responsibility to kind of shield yourself and make those investments and those things that's going to keep you balanced. The network's going to do what the network needs to do to make money because that's what they're designed for. They're money-making machines. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they're going to pull more content that's going to get them the ratings and the numbers that they're looking for. They're not here to maintain your individual balance. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that you was expecting the goddamn media to do that for you.
Right.
No, it's the entertainment industry. Once we realize that there's money behind it, we need to put that layer of protection in for yourself.
Again, I think those perspectives and ideologies are communal, right? So, like you said, the only way we can fight, I guess, the big bad capitalist monster is to mess up with the money, right? So an individual isn't messing up too much of the money, but a community kind of shuts the money down.
So community starts person to person. Last question to you, Curt. Let's say one of your peoples with a public platform.
Like you, Joe?
Okay, like me. All right, that's fine. The checks get bigger, but the buffoonery goes higher. How you handling that?
As your friend, I'm always going to say something. But am I eating with you as the check's getting bigger?
Oh yeah, everybody eats, B. Everybody's
then-
eating off my buffoonery.
Then, my brother, you got to continue to buffoon because we're eating.
Buffoon
you know what I'm saying?
on.
We're eating. But like I
We
said,
are
from
eating as a community.
As a community. But now, hopefully, because of my attachment and my alignment with you, I believe that you will hit a ceiling in all and any things that we do.
Wow,
where you
the train's off the tracks. You already said this.
No. That's what I'm saying. So when I see you now become big man in the store, grinding behind a plate of wings, we got to shut the cameras off, and I need to talk to you as a friend. Like, yo, what are we doing
But
with this?
we getting money, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Once you explain it, I'm with you. I got a cat suit. We out here.
Not a cat
Jodeci,
suit.
that's it. You know how much money I give and throw the one piece on?
Not the cat suit. It's time for everybody's favorite segment on the Charles Coleman podcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, no boys and girls, because this is only for adults. We've got rules of engagement, and I'm here running the triangle offense with two of my faves. We about to make it happen. To my left, we've got my man, Mr. Style and Performance, Mr. High Energy, Emerson's own Ebony Mayo. We've got
Yes, on
DJ
the lean
CEO
in.
in the building on the lean. Champagning and campaigning with the pinky ring, and I appreciate
Look,
you.
if Curt got the double barrel shotty,
Then
on
you
his
got the
intro,
Ebony
then
Lean?
I got this is my thing.
That's
man.
the Ebony Man Lane. I'm not mad at you. Lafayette and Grand Out. I appreciate
Yes,
you,
yes.
my bro. And then, of course, on my right, we've got the boss of 593 Washington, the professional winner, looking like a snack dinner.
Let's go, baby.
Gloria Sharubin is in the building. Giving
are you?
them
How are you?
super sexy. I love it.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. You got a date tonight, though? What's going on?
Yes, with the both of you. What's wrong with y'all?
Say less.
Say less.
Fire it up.
Fire it up. I hear that. Let's talk about it. So this tonight is a relationship / sex question. Because, you know, rules of engagement is love, sex, and relationship. And actually, it might be all three, because if you love the person, then maybe this changes your answer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right? Conventional wisdom says that what you did to get him or her, you got to do to keep them.
Right.
Okay? That's what conventional wisdom says. But I'm wondering if that's really true. Hear me out, because I know most people say, of course it's true. Well, is it though? So in the beginning, let's just say, all right, let's just understand this may not be your personal situation.
Okay.
Take that to Jesus, right?
Okay.
But tonight we want you to think about this. Let's just say at some point in your relationship, you're into certain things sexually. Maybe you guys have playtime. Maybe you sort of invite some other things going on. Maybe you are into role play or something, you know, that's, or you take it to a particular place
Right.
that's really kind of like, for y'all, it's out there. For somebody else, it might be a Tuesday night. But for y'all, you know, you like to do certain things. How obligated are you to keep those things going as you matriculate through your relationship? Because if you're dating and you're involved and you're in a relationship and y'all are like, y'all having playtime. You might have a friend or something that you're doing, you know, additionally. And you have playtime. And then you get married. And then after you get married, you know, maybe you have a child. Maybe you know, get a little older, whatever. You was doing that in your 30s. Now you're in your 40s or you're in your 50s. And you say, for whatever reason, your partner says, I don't really think that we should be doing that no more. I'm not comfortable doing that no more. Who's wrong? Like, do you have to, like, is there an obligation to keep doing that? Because that might have been part of what hooked them.
I mean, if they don't want it, me, putting my little finger in your booty makes you uncomfortable.
See?
Now
See?
things have changed.
See?
You know
They
what I'm
always
saying?
wanna
But
do
I
that.
want to please you. I want to make sure I'm in line with where you are.
What-
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, I need to be willing to evolve.
She stay wanting to
along-
blam and jam. She
Yo.
stay wanting to blam and jam.
That's how you get kicked in the face.
She stay wanting. Yo, I'm not
just
judging,
saying,
but I'm just saying.
I need to stay connected with what you desire. If that's no longer a desire for you, I can't force it on you. But if you want it or want something new, we need to continue to evolve in that, because now we're talking about a long-term relationship. We're not just talking about what I needed to do
I get it.
to explore you to find out if this could work.
I get it. I want us to dress up and do and be furries,
Okay.
right? Because I'm a furry fetish.
Right.
I like cosplay, but I'm not a furry fetish.
I
but
mean,
you know what I'm saying? But like, just say, right?
It's
So like,
believable.
I want to dress up as Santa Claus and you be my little slut elf or
Okay.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you don't
Elves
feel
are
like
fun.
they are, but you get to a point where you're like, we got kids, and I don't feel like I should be the slut elf anymore. I think-
Traumatizing the kids. They
should've-
came in, they want to know why Santa's on top of
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, CEO, like, you know what I'm saying? They get to a point where they feel like they've evolved past wherever you are. How do you deal with that?
I mean, well, evolution within a relationship is to be expected, sexually and everything else, right? So like that kind of comes with it. I don't think I've reached a point where things are like played out now. It's like I can't do this anymore. But your sexual appetite changes as you get older. Sometimes it's like, yo, I just want to get a nut and get out. Like you don't, I get it. I wouldn't feel no sort of way. Unless it's something that like I made known like early on, like, nah, this gotta happen. Like you gotta suck me off from the back. This is what, or something crazy like that.
Wow.
I'm just giving an example.
No.
She came with the
Interesting
finger in the
example.
booty and you looking at me?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm
This
just
is
saying,
right.
like this thing, certain people
Don't
have
deflect to me, please. Own your own
certain
stuff.
people have things that are like a must and that just never changes. But then there's just some things that you were interested in at some point, and it changes. Everybody evolves. sexually.
We have that conversation, but there's a recent scenario that came up. It was kind of sort of like talked about. I think it was like a television show where the couple, they definitely did threesomes and playtime coming up for a while. And then they met in their 20s, hung out, definitely continued during their 30s, early 40s. And now there's like a point of potential divorce because the wife they're both in their mid 40s now. And the wife is like, I don't really think that it's appropriate for me as a mother to be engaging in, threesomes or what have you. And the husband's like, this was part of the deal. This is how you got me.
Right.
So I'm wondering, like in a scenario like that, how much of that, does it fall on the person who was, how much does it fall on the person who feels like they evolved?
I mean, I
to
think that's
continue
an
in that
amicable
game?
thing with you have to, I mean, it's going to be a case-by-case situation, but at the end of the day, like both people need to be pleased. You know what I'm saying? If she's tired of you bringing these hoes into the bedroom.
See, there you go. There you go.
These harlots.
She's
Respectable people who like to have a good time.
I understand that.
Open-minded
but now
individuals.
She's with the Lordeth, and she
Right, so
feels
she's now with the
convicted
Lord, yeah.
Right, so she doesn't want to do that anymore. I'm just saying that you got to be willing to evolve, and it's something on both sides. So whether he's just like our relationship was predicated on this, and
So
now it's too late to change.
So why doesn't date night evolve then? Like your expectations around like, I need you to keep courting me, those don't evolve. You still need to feel like you still need to be made you still need to be made to feel special.
Right.
Right? That doesn't change, but now you get to evolve sexually?
Well, I'm just saying both of us could be evolving sexually. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just really with this finger thing, and you keep pulling back every time, and you're just like,
Wait, the
no,
finger
I don't
thing
want
is
to
for
do
you?
it.
No,
For him, I want
she
to.
keeps,
But I'm just saying
this is her fantasy.
But this is I'm
She
just saying,
really-
as awkward
she
as
re-
it makes men feel,
Hey,
I want
listen,
them.
if you
I'm
really
intentional in that because I want you to know.
We're
if you're
gonna do a contest. If you would like Gloria to put a finger in your booty, hit us up in the comments. We'll do something for subscribers because she really wants to do it. She subscribe. She really wants to do it, but we
Number
will only
310.
allow it. Right, we will only allow it.
Her nails
for
are short.
subscribers.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm just saying at the end of the day, I'm intentional in using that as an example because it tends to make some men uncomfortable. And the idea that you would be willing to be uncomfortable for your significant other is the real question, because that's what's happening to this woman who's at a space where she's just like, I'm uncomfortable. I really, don't know how to explain to the kids why Tamara keeps leaving at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's a couple of issues with all of that. For one, like, if you have kids and they're getting older, like, you could still have threesomes but not bring this to the house. Like, now you should be at a point.
Again, I'm just being facetious on the example. Don't fix the situation.
Oh, I'm an Aquarius. That's what we do. We fix situations. No, I just think, well, first of all, if you're getting divorced because now you feel like this person isn't doing the same thing sexually, then I don't think you should be married off the rip.
Well, what if you got married because one of the reasons was that you felt like there was a level of sexual compatibility.
Yeah, no, I get, but that's not why you should. This should not be. The saying goes that you never marry your greatest lover. Like,
sure,
you know what I'm saying,
okay.
right? But yes, there should be some compatibility. You know, some people have instant, sexual chemistry. Some people have to work at it, whatever the case may be. But in this particular situation, like, and how I view marriage, it's like, that's insane. Like, everything that you have to offer, and it's like, you don't want to do threesomes no more.
Let's back this up. Because you playing games.
Me?
Miss DJ CEO comes to you and says, I am with the Lord and I'm not giving head no more. Now,
first of all,
is that
first
okay?
Of all, that is
not in the Bible. What are you talking about?
That's not of the Lord.
I'm just
okay?
saying.
That's not even in the Bible.
What I'm saying,
you're not giving head ain't got nothing to do with
put
Jesus. Don't bring Jesus in here.
What I'm saying is,
you better get to praying.
She evolves. You say you better get to praying. She evolves to a point where she says, I'm no longer giving head to you anymore because.
Come on, now, you can't use the giving head as an example.
Why not?
You need to use, like...
It has to be something extra because giving head is, like, so basic.
Hold on. Basic to who? There are viewers right now.
Wait, who is not giving head?
Right.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
Single people.
Yo, you would be surprised. There are some people... Listen, I have someone who I know very well, a man, who is now with, who's been married for a very long time, and she's kind of like, get somebody else to do it. Like, that ain't what she's saying. She's not.
Oh, is she saying that or no?
No, she's not. No, she's not saying. She's
not
not
like,
saying
there's
that.
no discussion.
She's not saying that, but she's just kind of like, she basically said to him in an argument, I don't feel like I should have to give you head all the time anymore. So,
okay.
If you get to that point, is it a thing of, well, you got me this way, so you're gonna have to keep me this way? You can't dismiss it as basic. So what's your answer?
You have to give me another example because that's not head to head. That's just so basic. Like,
that's what it's basic to you now because you're in your 40 and you're young and you ain't got no kids and it's a big deal. But let's age you a couple years. 60 years old. Look, DJ CEO, I've been giving you head for 25 years. I don't want to give you head no more. Now what?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I get there. I'll tell you when I get there. I don't know.
G?
I mean, again, it's so important to know what your partner needs and be willing to engage.
Now you're soft-shoeing. I gotta push you.
I'm not soft-shoeing. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you gotta figure out there's gotta be a happy balance at the end. If this is gonna be a relationship and we looking
so instead of a threesome, it's a 2.5 some? What's the hefty balance?
I don't know what the hefty balance is because each scenario is gonna be very different. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, look, don't get afraid if I now start saying, well, you know what? If this is what I need to commit to and this has to be conventional, then I'm bringing gerbils. I want to bring gerbils into the situation.
So we're going to say thank you for joining us for another edition of Rules of Engagement. The question for tonight
I'm
was,
just joking.
We out of time, unfortunately, but the question tonight was, do you have to continue to do the things for your partner that got you there? Let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't already, check me out on Talkback Tuesdays at 8 p.m. We're always on IG Live at CF Coleman Jr. We may be discussing this. You can continue the conversation and make sure you keep it going in the comments. Until next Wednesday, I'm Charles Coleman. This is DJ CEO, and she's Gloria Sharubin, and this is the Charles Coleman Podcast. Peace.